The NHS Youth Forum and young people across the country are ready to work with you all. We are the future, but we are not just the future. Our voices need to be heard now. Yours sincerely, the NHS Youth Forum.
The post has actually picked up on consent, confidentiality and giving feedback.
During our second residential, we discussed our main priorities, which are young carers and transitioning services. We then created a list of key questions we'd ask healthcare professionals about these topics.
NHS Youth Forum!
Dear NHS, as you clearly work in an accountable system where the public is your interest and your priority, what makes you certain that you hear everybody's voice and that you are accountable to all people from all across the country, especially young people, when it comes to the specification of transition?
Dear NHS, what are you doing to enable all young carers to be young people? Dear NHS, have you considered using volunteers within transition?
Dear NHS, how do you adapt the transition between child and adult services to the maturity level of a young person?
Dear NHS, what are you doing to support the mental health and well-being of young carers?
Dear NHS, we want to know what you're doing to celebrate young carers.
Dear NHS, what do you do within schools to understand the role of young carers?
Dear NHS, I, like many other young people, have lots of ideas about how we can improve and influence transition care. What I want to know is, how are you getting young people involved in their care?
Dear NHS, what are you doing to increase understanding amongst young people about young carers?
Dear NHS, how are you identifying young carers in your local area?
Dear NHS, there's lots of guidance out there from NICE, the CQC and NHS England on transition for young people. We want to know what you find most useful locally.
Dear NHS, how will you ensure I don't lose my place on the waiting list when I turn 18?
Dear NHS, what are you doing for the capacity building of the BME communities?
Dear NHS, what are you doing to recognise and support individual young carers?
Could advertise the posters.
Yeah, brilliant. So communication. So the post has actually picked up on consent, confidentiality and giving feedback. Yeah. Use the stuff that we deliver, that we've developed.
Do you think there'd be overloaded work?
Yeah. We need to have contact details on it.
You basically need a keyword that people should